China's most advanced aircraft carrier, the Fujian.
We wanted to know more about the current state of the U.S. Navy and how it's trying to deter China while preparing for the possibility of war.
Picture a floating city, a massive steel fortress sailing serenely on the water's surface. It serves dual purposes as an aircraft carrier and a symbol of China's growing naval power. Welcome to the new class of Chinese naval power, the Type 003 Fujian aircraft carrier. This vessel is much more than a typical vessel. It is the pinnacle of China's innovation and shows its growing powerful position globally. But what makes the Fujian more than just metal and might? Strap in. Because this carrier isn't just built to sail, it's built to send a global message. The Fujian is China's state-of-the-art aircraft carrier and a cutting-edge naval warfare weapon. And it is much more than a military message. It is a political message of authority and a louder claim on the world community, and the United States in particular, that just got more elevated. The dimensions of the Fujian are simply breathtaking and are a stark reminder of China's incredible progress in the arena of naval technology. Measuring over 316 meters in length, which is the equivalent of 3 football fields laid end-to-end, and with an enormous displacement of 80,000 tons, the Fujian effectively confirms the status quo of China's advanced shipbuilding technology. One of the most significant technologies found on board an aircraft carrier is the cutting-edge electromagnetic launch system, which mimics cowboy technology on board the USS Gerald R. Ford. This technology parity marks an important milestone and strong point of consolidation that differentiates China as a peer competitor in naval aviation versus a follower. Instead of going for the slow and piecemeal evolution of its technological facilities, China has taken the bold and courageous step of making a great leap forward, bypassing altogether the previously employed steam catapult systems. In so doing, the nation has embraced and employed the most recent and advanced launch technology available in the world today. Aside from being a valuable function as a massive weapons platform, the Fujian is a self-sustaining floating city that has the ability to accommodate and support a huge population of more than 3,000 people. This comprehensive system is made up of more than 2,500 seamen, including not only specialist pilots but also skilled repairmen and highly educated technical experts, all of whom constitute the vital backbone of the ship's functional presence in their various capacities. The organizational structure that is present on the ship is a clear reflection of thoughtful and deliberate planning, with a well-engineered system that effortlessly compartmentalizes both operational and living areas in a rational manner. These areas are more than the absolute minimum provisions. They constitute a whole life support facility with the precise design to enable extended independent deployment of many months' duration without returning to port or relying on outside assistance. The food and other onboard amenities are of the same nature as their land-based counterparts and consist of state-of-the-art medical centers with surgical modules and emergency hospitals, complete engineering workshops, specialized training centers, extensive libraries, strategic food storage facilities, and an officers' recreational facility with karaoke halls and cinema facilities. Life aboard the Fujian is experienced under an extremely formal hierarchical structure, one that is characterized by an evident respect for station and rank on the part of the crew. The seamen, who form the backbone of the vessel's operation, are housed in dormitory accommodations that are designed to hold groups of 6 or 8 men, utilizing bunk bed setups that make optimal use of space. However, this system does not leave a lot of personal space or privacy for its inhabitants. In the meantime, the staff personnel enjoy a more conventional living setup, typically sharing spacious rooms with 2 to 4 shipmates, which affords them relatively more comfort and space of their own. Concurrently, the chief officers, captains, and admirals are accorded a higher level of living, residing in luxury-class staterooms that are comparable in quality and luxury to deluxe hotel rooms, providing them with an experience that is consonant with their elevated status on the ship. Automation plays a significant and contributory role in the various facets of ship operations. These include the use of sophisticated ventilation, the fitting of automated food distribution systems, and the concomitant monitoring and viewing of all the necessities which are governed by computerized and automatic systems. The ship remains connected at all times by communicating with satellites, providing reliable and secure communications and the capability to communicate simultaneously with any Chinese military unit, wherever they may be on the globe. Fujian's naval operational strength is its fifth-generation J-35 carrier-capable fleet of fighter jets. China's direct response to the American F-35C carrier-borne fighter aircraft, purposely tailored for carrier operations. The air wing is complemented by multi-role Z-20 helicopters and advanced sea-based unmanned drones. The electromagnetic catapult configuration significantly enhances operational flexibility, allowing for heavy reconnaissance unmanned drones and airborne early warning aircraft to be catapulted, de facto transforming the Fujian into an airborne command center in its own right. With a large radius of 1,500 kilometers from its home base, the ship displays a remarkable degree of flexibility in its varied mission profiles, including such important roles as reconnaissance, surveillance, and a range of strike missions. With its significant long-range operational capability, when combined with its extremely advanced technological package and high level of autonomy, Fujian is a fantastically effective force multiplier in the overall context of China's naval strategy. The ship constitutes a great leap forward in the country's ability for military projection and influence worldwide, demonstrating a significant development in maritime capabilities. But having reach means nothing without firepower. So, what kind of weapons does the Fujian really carry? And why are even US Navy insiders watching with raised eyebrows? Onboard weapon systems. The Fujian aircraft carrier represents modern shipbuilding at its finest, fully integrated with modern weapon systems that create a new threshold in naval warfare capabilities. Fujian's protective design includes a fully multi-layered air and missile defense system with a suite of state-of-the-art HQ-10 missile batteries, China's strategic version of the US Navy's RIM-116 Rolling Airframe Missile (RAM) system. The armaments of the ship are more than usual weapons, ranging from advanced multi-channel air defense artillery systems. Military sources have spoken of the addition of experimental air defense technology, including the use of laser weapons and electromagnetic pulse systems, though this capability is yet to be confirmed by official releases, despite wide-ranging discussion among military circles. Aside from being a single combat ship wonder, the Fujian has a bigger strategic role to fill, that of the command ship of an integrated carrier strike group. The naval group comprises Type 055 destroyers, cruise missile submarines, supply vessels, and escort vessels, which transform the Fujian into more than an aircraft carrier floating airbase, but a floating military base that can sustain itself. This configuration enables the ship to conduct sophisticated operations at a distance, in fact, extending military power across thousands of kilometers of maritime space. Response from the West. The United States military rapidly and efficiently entered into the discussion on China's recent commissioning of the Fujian aircraft carrier, universally accepted as a historic and pivotal moment in the modern balance of international sea power politics. Pentagon policymakers and officials gave a clear and direct affirmation that this achievement finally clearly indicates a historic turning point when viewed from the backdrop of China's naval technology advancements. Further, they asserted that China has irretrievably entered into the exclusive club of nations viewed as pioneers in the development and construction of aircraft carriers. This situation marked a revolutionary and basic change in the global maritime order, particularly at a time when the United States had for so long enjoyed an unparalleled and uncontested level of control and dominance over the wide expanse of the world's oceans. The most apparent and telling feature of this historic development is China's clear and overt capacity to actually build and launch a number of aircraft carriers within the next 10 years, with projections suggesting the possibility of churning out 2 or even 3 vessels within that time. This production tempo is a stark contrast to the work timetables of American shipyards, which take a very extended span of between 10 and 15 years to achieve the construction of a single aircraft carrier. The Chinese shipyards have exhibited a very fast pace of work, record-breaking time for construction that defies and challenges traditional Western assumptions about the abilities of naval production. The single most critical concern of interest to Western observers regarding Fujian is its purpose and strategic intention. In contrast to previous Chinese naval vessels, which have been mainly constructed with defensive capability and operations in mind, the Fujian is an unabashedly offensive weapons system for use in aggressive operations. Its area of operation is wide-ranging and not only encompasses the South China Sea and the Taiwan Strait, but also extends beyond these to cover the larger Indo-Pacific space. This scope is a major and apparent shift from a plan of pure coastal defense to the exclusion of all else. The ship's area of operations literally goes far beyond the regional seas themselves, which goes a long way in demonstrating and illustrating China's growing global maritime footprint on the world stage. With complete independence in its operations, along with a fully developed logistics support infrastructure that has been painstakingly developed and refined to perfection, the Fujian is able to confidently project power over long distances, as far as Africa, the Persian Gulf, and the vast Indian Ocean. This newfound long-range operational capability marks a major turning point for China, as it reflects the nation's evolution from being essentially a regional naval power to fully claiming its status as a comprehensive and full-fledged global maritime power with the capability to exercise far-reaching reach and influence. Aside from its direct operational value, the Fujian also serves as a very important proving ground for numerous technologies. Some of the advanced systems that are housed within this giant carrier will be initially tested and validated prior to being fit for service in China's future Navy fleet, which spans a variety of vessels from frigates to submarines. By making use of this methodical approach to technological evolution, Fujian takes a lead role in driving the front rank of an emerging Chinese naval doctrine. This naval doctrine goes beyond the traditional bounds of coastal defense missions and boldly embraces blue water naval mission capabilities. The Fujian represents much more than merely an ancillary production in the context of Chinese naval technologies. It represents a basic and existential shift in the very nature of China's maritime strategy as an overarching approach. As an iconic representation of this nascent naval thinking, the Fujian clearly manifests China's unshakable resolve and aspiration to become an excellent world-class power on the seas, one that is not only capable of protecting its coastal waters, but equally competent in projecting its military power across the vast distances of the world's oceans. This tremendous change in strategic direction is both a fundamental and comprehensive alteration of the global balance of naval power, as we have known it, directly challenging old and traditional assumptions long made regarding the control of the seas. It also marks the absolute beginning of what can be perceived as a new era of extreme international naval competition by numerous nations. But beneath that steel and radar lies something far bigger, a tectonic shift in naval power, Chinese innovation, and global influence. Stick around to uncover why Fujian changes everything at sea. Symbol of soft power. The Fujian aircraft carrier is a strong symbol of China's increasing diplomatic power and is a constant part of national television programs and national pride. This modern ship is a story of transformation. China went from importing foreign military technology as a user of foreign military technology to an innovator of high-quality equipment on national soil. Behind the technological marvel is a sophisticated system of innovation, thousands of diligent engineers working tirelessly, numerous specialized research institutions collaborating on revolutionary breakthroughs, and enormous investments in the form of tens of billions of yuan. The Fujian is not only a naval vessel, it is a gateway to the future of Chinese maritime aspirations and an immediate challenge to the existing world powers, such as America, The building of this next-generation warship, which now serves as China's lead vessel in this category, is the product of decades of deliberate strategy, the summation of China's methodical approach to military modernization. As a technological platform operating on the waves, it has the potential to alter the global balance of power. Its arrival in service not only means China has reached a default capability in naval warfare, but also that if denied, countries are dangerously at risk, strategy-wise. Yet, beyond Fujian's impressive technical capability and military muscle, there is something larger, even much larger. While it meticulously tracks China's increasing military presence, it arguably roughly illustrates an even larger transition in the military-industrial ideology of the PRC, and a structural change in how China now thinks about, conceptualizes, and organizes around defense technology, research, and integration. The evolution of the Chinese military-industrial mindset. The People's Republic of China, as a nation with a colossal population and resources, has been through a dramatic and revolutionary transformation of its overall approach to technological advancement. For decades, the country's approach was largely characterized by a steady emphasis on mimicking and duplicating innovations that originated in the Western world. However, in a sudden and unprecedented turn of events, China is setting out on an ambitious journey to achieve independent technological advancement and innovation. This dramatic policy change is more apparent in some fields in which the United States had always enjoyed a leading and unchallenged position of supremacy. The commissioning of the Fujian aircraft carrier is a giant leap in China's ambitious and ongoing naval modernization program. This leviathan of a vessel is not only envisioned as a source of Chinese national pride, but also as a critical testing bed for the cutting-edge naval technologies that will shape the future of naval warfare. It is also China's pioneering prototype of its very first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, representing an enormous advance in its naval technology. China has envisioned having the official delivery of this high-tech warship sometime in the mid-2030s, and several intelligence estimates predict that this carrier is likely to be an outright competitor, or peer, to the long-dominant US Nimitz and Ford-class carriers, which have been the gold standard of naval power for decades. The new carrier will also be driven entirely by advanced Chinese-designed technologies, with domestic products including the nuclear power plant and sophisticated energy systems to drive it, and is scheduled to carry next-generation electromagnetic weaponry. The Fujian represents a culmination of progress towards that goal, representing systematic baby steps in military modernization in China. The technical capabilities of Fujian demonstrate more than 2 decades of progress that will lay the foundations for the future. American defense experts and researchers, particularly those who are part of various think tanks, as well as those based in the Pentagon itself, have been closely following the developments surrounding the Fujian ship. This monitoring involves the utilization of satellite capabilities alongside other advanced methods to track each step of the ship's assembly and eventual launch. Additionally, they are diligently endeavoring to dissect the precise design elements of the ship, studying patterns related to its docking maneuvers, and laboring carefully over its eventual deployment strategies. The profound and detailed attention the Fujian is commanding is indicative of a serious appreciation of the considerable ramifications this particular ship, as well as the broader program it represents, has for the global maritime security landscape. The implications of the Fujian go well beyond technical detail and specification and have provoked an instant and forceful strategic reaction from the United States government. In response to this advance, American defense planners have hastily sped up their current carrier modernization program and have also begun an extensive and detailed examination of naval posture across the enormous sweep of the Pacific theater. The advent of the Fujian has quite literally sparked a great deal of activity in the American defense establishment, in effect justifying its pivotal role in framing and informing the general naval calculus of the world. Aside from its broad range of technical capabilities, the Fujian aircraft carrier is also profoundly psychologically significant, serving as a potent symbol of Chinese military power in the contemporary world. Unlike intangible weapon systems that lack physical form, the Fujian is a real, transferable, and tangible manifestation of military power that can be seen and recognized. The massive vessel is a physical attestation to China's extraordinary technological capacity, showcasing a dazzling spectacle of the nation's continually strengthening military-industrial complex, along with its firm determination to achieve technological independence from other sources. And if you think Fujian is the grand finale, think again. This isn't the endgame. It's just the opening move in China's bold maritime revolution. Here's what's next. The starting point. Anything but a climax, Fujian heralds the start of China's perilous oceanic adventure. China has tried to increase the quantity of ships it produces, enhance the quality of ships manufactured, and increase the speed of production. Fujian has become a priority training base for China's future generations of naval officers, pilots, and engineers. This is a sign of China embarking on its oceanic era. China's military presence is undergoing an essential transformation, which is significant. Coastal missile batteries once constituted the overwhelming force in shaping China's defense policy and ensuring its national security. A transformation is in progress where aircraft carrier fleets will assume this crucial strategic function instead. This new development signifies a new paradigm in China's military strategy, from one of conservatism to one of expansion and aggressiveness. China, which was previously cautious and slow in the development of its military capabilities, is now poised to move forward and extend its capabilities beyond the boundaries it has known hitherto. This ideological and orientational change is not only significant, but also one that appears to be irreversible in nature. Fujian is not just a ferry. It is more a strategic direction of action and a banner that embodies China's grand global aspirations. The accomplishment of this specific task is only the starting point of a much greater and broader grand design which has been initiated. The real value of Fujian does not lie in the fact that it is a destination. It is that it is the critical starting point of China's ambitions in the maritime domain. We have come to the end of today's video. We hope you liked it. Don't forget to leave a comment on your thoughts.